stand. Better days and better nights as we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we wanna see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling, being beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I wasn't part of the mission. Changing lives of men, women, and children. Our glory goes to He that causes us all to be. Oh, and if they're thinking we can, we show them that just as long as we stand. A monument, we the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my people rising, yeah.
If nobody is perfect, then why are children taught to strive for excellence? Why do we expect honesty from our friends, faithfulness from our spouses, integrity from our leaders? Why do we desire people to keep their word? And if nobody can be perfect, why do we get upset when they aren't? Here's another question. What if the problem isn't scripture? What if the problem is the definition we've been given? What if one of the most repeated phrases in modern Christianity has become one of the greatest obstacles to accountability, growth, and transformation? What if we accepted something that sounds spiritual, but was never intended to be understood the way we've been taught? Maybe the real question isn't, is anyone perfect? Maybe the real question is, what does perfect actually mean? All right. Peace to you all. Shalom to you all. Welcome to another segment of the Writings of Wisdom, where we utilize the scriptures. First, we're starting in Proverbs. We started off with chapter 1 of Proverbs. And this is purposeful. We're going this route on purpose. It's kind of a segue from the new book that I just released. No one is perfect. The lies that Christianity gave us. So for those that's on TikTok, those that's on YouTube, just make sure if you want to check it out, it's already on Amazon. If you want to get it directly from us, let us know. But it's some things that we talk about in that book. And I know this is like foreign to most people, right? You know, we always say no one is perfect. We often say this, but we regurgitate it. One person is perfect. But what if that one person was here to tell you that culturally speaking, we understood that blamelessness was an expectation. Being perfect was an expectation. So this idea of perfection that's given to us through the theological lens that we have been given through Eurocentric eyes, right? Through the Roman period and beyond, is not the same idea historically, contextually, when these things are being brought out by these righteous and blameless or perfect men and or women within the text. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to start off with Solomon, because a lot of people go to Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 7, First Kings, when he's talking about there's no man that does not sin on earth and things of that nature without having a context. So if he said that, then he cannot go against what he said in Proverbs. We have to have an understanding as to why he's saying what he's saying. But that's not the basis of it, of this whole platform, this whole segment that we're doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, is to take from the wisdom and see if we can apply it to today. All right, so give me a second. Give me a second and let me share this on Facebook. We normally would just go live straight on it, but I'm not sure why it's not showing on Facebook. So bear with me. And we're always going to have people that's going to go in and out, because again, this is something that is just different. It's not being taught. It's not being pushed out there, and that's for a reason. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just continue. I'll just have to share it once we're done. All right, so we're going to go right into Proverbs chapter 2. We started off in Proverbs chapter 1, and we saw that the advice, the instruction, the suggestion, the wisdom that Solomon gave to his son was one that is grazed over, right? It's not brought out often. And in that chapter 1, he told him, do not consent or do not be around sinners. That's what Solomon said. He said, do not be around sinners. Don't consent to them. Don't follow their ways. Don't do any of that. That's in chapter 1 of Proverbs. Why isn't that brought out in all of the different organizations that utilize the scriptures? We're taught often we're all sinners. We're all sinners. That's what's taught. And this is taught to be embedded within us so that we lose the accountability of being able to change and improve in our moral compass, in our integrity, right, in our character, and have the idea that we can perfect it, that we can be blameless. So it's a reason why it's taught that we are all sinners, but the scriptures does not say that at all. It has never said that throughout any of the literature that we are all sinners. So why is Solomon or Shlomo, why is he King Solomon? Why is he saying that in chapter 1? If that's the case, who would know more? That in which we get these scriptures or these ideas from, or those who get it and they push their thought process, their theology on it? Who should we listen more to? That should be the thought process. So we're going to jump right into chapter 2. Let me pull it up so you all can see it. For those that's tuning in now and those that's tuning in later, just make sure you share so others can subscribe to our YouTube channel, House of Balance Network. House of Balance Network. Go ahead and subscribe so you'll be able to get everything that we're putting out on this platform. All right, so verse 1, it says, now I went through this a little bit briefly for like 20 minutes on Friday, or Yom Shishi. I went through it, but I wanted to go back through it because I was kind of rushing through it. And I don't want to let it go over you all's head, those that actually watch this and go back to it. I want us to go right through it and get a good understanding of it, right? So it says, my son, if you will receive my words and treasure my commandments within you, make your ear attentive to wisdom, incline your heart to understanding, right? So that attentive, it's a reason that it's saying be attentive. We can hear ideas and suggestions and wisdom, but we're not really paying attention to it. It's not something that we're putting within us, right? He said, treasure my commandments. within you. And what is Shlomo's commandments? Shlomo's or Solomon's commandment is going to be in alignment with the commandments that has been given to him within this culture, right? Through his parents, through the what we call today, we'll say constitution or the laws today. We obey those things, but we don't want to deal with anything that's pertaining to the Supreme King Yah, or what some might say God. That's the only time I'm going to say that, by the way. So he says, treasure my commandments within you. Make your ear attentive to wisdom. So pay attention, reach for it, right? Desire it, run to it. Incline your heart to understanding. This is a thing, the one thing that we want to do. You want to understand the things that you have been taught, not just hear it. You want to understand the things that you're reading. Most of us do not understand what we're reading. We're reading it as a fairy tale. We're reading it as something just to read. All right. He says, for if you cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, so you have a yearning for it. If you cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, verse 4 of Proverbs chapter 2, if you seek her as silver. So the way that people are trying to get that bag today, right? They do anything to get that money. If you seek her or wisdom the same way that you do that and search for her as for hidden treasures, hard to be attained. Treasures is hard to get, right? It's hard to find these things. But if you search for her the same way that most men would search for gold, silver, right? Artifacts that can change lives. If you search for wisdom in that same way, what is it going to say? Then you will understand the fear of the Supreme King Yah. Most people today say, well, I'm not trying to fear him or it. I'm not fearing him. That's my friend. That's my father. I have no fear. We're not supposed to fear, right? You could use the word reverence if you want to, but the difference between reverence and fear is this is the creator of all things known and unknown. Why wouldn't you have this type of reverence to him? Why do we have this type of reverence to those individuals that's not even the creator, right? Like officers, judges, right? Kings, for those times that kings was here, they would bow down, right? They would ask to approach the throne of that king. If you're in a courtroom, but before you walk up to the judge, you have to get permission. So why don't we do that to the one that we claim is the creator? Why don't we do that to the one that we say we're a child of? Because children, they can't just walk up to their parents if they're in the middle of something. Well, some parents allow it. But most of you will be like, what are you doing? Say, excuse me. Say, please. Ask when you are teaching them decorum. Why don't we do that with the one that is a creator of all things known and unknown? Some will say, well, Abraham was his friend. That's my friend. No, Abraham was obedient. Abraham was obedient to the T, even so much so without even knowing where he was going. So when they say it was counted to him as righteousness or he had faith, no, yes, he had faith, right? But it started from just going from a commandment, something that was told of him to do. And that's why he was accounted to the Supreme King as a friend, and the prophets called him that as well. So if we're going to say the Supreme King Yah is our friend, right, then we need to act the same way that these individuals who was called his friend, which was really just one. We say things so quickly when our lives is not even in alignment with who we claim that we serve, who we claim that we're a child of. So that's what he's pointing out. He says, and discover the knowledge of Elohim. For the Supreme King gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. And I want you all to pay attention to that part too, because when we get to chapter 3, we're going to do 2 chapters today. When we get to chapter 3, it's going to be very important what he just said in verse 6. He says, for the Supreme King Yah gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So what's coming from his mouth? Commandments, laws. What's coming from our mouth? You don't have to keep those things. The truth of the matter is, those of us that don't want to keep it, don't want to reach out for it, don't want to put it before us, are those that don't want accountability. That's just what it is. The beautiful thing about it is we can go towards it if we want to. Every last one of us can. Each and every last one of us can if we want to. We can be blameless if we want to. We can be what people are afraid to say, perfect, if we want to. And every messenger that was sent, every person that was of the Supreme King, Yah, tells you the same thing. So why don't we do it? Because we don't want to. We're in this society today to where we could put one foot in, one foot out. So he says, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So when we get to chapter 3, I want you all to remember this verse, because now we're going to get into a verse or a chapter that everyone quotes out of context. Everyone, unless they're living it. All right. Verse 7 says, he stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. Right. This word in Hebrew is going to be similar to Tom or Tamim. This should be Tom, because Tom, or walking blameless or walking perfect, is not what we teach today in 2026. Being perfect is not the same biblically. Perfect in 2026 is not the same biblically. All right. Integrity is one of the synonyms of perfect. You're going to move a certain way. Your character is going to be solid. Whatever you're doing, you're going to be doing it balanced. That's going to be your goal with all your heart, all your strength. That's going to be your focus. That's what blamelessness is. That's what perfect is. It is not what's taught today in Christianity. Is not what's taught in any religion that tells you can't be perfect. Anybody that teaches that, they're not going scripture. They're not scripturally sound. All right. So it says he stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. He covers them. Think about it. When you think of the story of Eob or Job, what did Hasatan say? He said you had a hedge over him. And what did it call Job? It said Job was perfect and upright. He had a hedge over him. He was a shield. That's what Proverbs 2:7 says. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. Tom, guarding the paths of justice, so they're balanced. Because in order for you to understand justice, you have to be balanced. You have to know how to deal with people. You have to know how to be fair. You have to know how, when you're dealing with people, when they leave, you don't talk crazy about them, right? Without solutions or trying to build and strengthen whatever it is. All these things matter. And he watches over the way of his godly ones, right? Let's keep going. Verse 9, Proverbs 2 says, then you will discern righteousness. When you go about those things and walk in that way, then you will discern it. Because right now, guess what? People today don't discern it. People today don't understand it. Teachers, pastors, the church fathers, these individuals do not understand it. I'm not talking about everyone, but I'm talking about the masses, the many, the majority of us. Because once you handle those things, once you walk in that way, once you, in chapter 1, it says, remove yourself away from sinners. But they teach us we all are. We're removing ourselves when we count ourselves as that. But it's hard for us to even understand that because we're living well. We got nice houses, right? We're taking care of ourselves financially. But finance is very important. The world moves with money, right? And scripture talks about that. For the love of money is different. But that's not the key or the focus when it comes to being a true servant, right? Or a child of the Supreme King, or someone that is upright, or someone that is perfect, blameless, or someone that is all these different terms we use. It's not the focus is not money. Money comes with it. Money happens for some, and for some it doesn't, right? And some of these people that it didn't happen to, that was still called upright, blameless, and all these things. So it's telling you, when you look at that in chapter 1 and you come from here in chapter 2 and you get to verse 9, it says, then you will discern righteousness, justice, and integrity, and every good path. Every good path. But all of this stuff sounds foreign to us. All of these things sound impossible to us because we think that this book, this history, this literature is literally a fairy tale. That's what we believe. When it all boils down to it, when we get to the nitty-gritty, it's just that. It's good for the times to make us feel good. When we're in need of something, when we're having a bad day, that's when we run to this, but we don't run to it all the time. And we're going to read that in a minute. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be delightful to your soul, right? Discretion will watch over you, being discreet. You're not going to be so quick to just run out, say something, run out, teach anything, run out and just speak so authoritatively. You're going to be a little more discreet. You're going to be a little more careful, right? Understanding will guard you. You know, it's some people that we forget sometimes we got family, right? What am I saying when I say that? We be so quick to run to violence. Today in 2026, somebody will unalive you just from you stepping on their shoes or breathing on them the wrong way. But it's telling you discretion will watch over you. You're going to be a little more cautious, especially if you got family. But many of us today, we don't care about that. We lead with our emotion. We don't understand the value that we are for our family, for the people that surround us. We don't value ourselves. It's a time to move in that manner, right? It says to rescue you from the way of evil, from a person who speaks perverse things, from those who leave the paths of uprightness, leave the paths to walk in ways of darkness. Many of us do this right now. We go back and forth, especially those of us that claim that we're children of the Most High, servants of the Most High, teachers, leaders, right? We have moments where we sit up here and we leave the path of uprightness when it's convenient, right? To walk in the ways of darkness. These terms people don't like, but it's still the truth. Even when we're in or walking through darkness, we should still be walking in light. Who delight in doing evil and rejoice in perversity of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. Now, some will say, well, man, I'm not listening to Solomon. What did he end up doing? He's saying stuff right now that is contrary to how he ended up, but that does not mean that it's not wisdom. This is amazing wisdom if we apply it. And some of us know it is because we went contrary to it and we see the results of it. Right? Myself included at some points in my life. So whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways, to rescue you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman who flatters with her words. So when we first look at this, right, we automatically think that this is talking about somebody that's not within a covenant, has understanding of the Supreme King. Because right now, this is a woman that understands who the Supreme King Yah is. That's who this is. To rescue you from the strange woman. We don't believe that we can become strange to the Supreme King just because we believe ourselves to be Bnei Israel. We're going to keep reading and you're going to see what I'm saying is true. To rescue you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman, right? Can we become foreign? Once we take on the customs of what's foreign to how we're supposed to move, yes, we can. You have integrated with customs that you are not supposed to be doing. And you call yourself a child, a woman of the Supreme King Yah, a man of the Supreme King Yah. But right here, watch what it says. To rescue you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman who flatters with her voice, who leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her Elohim. This is covenantal talk. So this is somebody who understood the covenant of the Supreme King Yah, who goes away from what she knew. Women do it, men do it. In this path, outside of this path. So it's telling you not even to deal with that. Be careful. Watch, let's keep going. For her house sinks down to death, and her tracks lead to the dead. Those that forget the covenant of the Supreme King Yah, their tracks lead to the dead. This is truth. Even if you are a Christian, if you was raised in a path of Christianity and your parents was good parents, wanted you to serve, wanted you to learn, wanted you to grow, but you went this route and those tracks led to death, things started happening to you. A lot of things started happening in your life. Things that you didn't even want to happen took place. I'm speaking this from what I know. So I know I know you all understand this. Because why? We forgot the covenant of Elohim. That's why. None who go to her return, nor do they reach the paths of life. So right now it's saying none that go. Like if you go and you there and you stay there, you will not return. So if you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, there still is a chance. All we got to do is decide to change. Slick eye, hold on 1 second, you all. All right, let's continue. Verse 20 says, so you will walk in the way of good people. Wait a minute. So I thought there's none that's good. When we have to understand when we read certain things, we have to know why it's being said. So you will walk in the way of good people. That's what this says. Let me check the Hebrew though. Yep, Tobim. In the path, in the way of good people. Telek Baderek Tobim. The righteous will guard. And it says, and keep to the paths of the righteous, or guard the paths of the righteous. Hold on to it. Don't let it leave you. Stay on the paths. These are sayings that can help us. It's a reason why the Torah tells us to stay in it throughout the day. Keep these sayings, right? Speak it, but not only speak it, you got to think it. You got to let it be within you. What's the first thing that he said right here? We're on verse 20, but I'm going to go back up, right? He says in verse 1, and treasure my commandments within you, right? So these things have to be within us. Us just reading it a day, going to church 1 day out the week, it's not going to be within you. It's impossible. I often say that NBA players are the best players in the world. Why are they practicing every day? So it can be within them. Anything that comes their way, it's a natural reaction to avoid it, not to get caught, not to get anything stolen from them, right? You know, basketball, the ball getting stolen, right? Not to get rejected, all these things, making sure you're hitting your shot at the right spots because you have trained yourself. It's within them now. All right. Proverbs 2 and verse 20. Again, it says, so you will walk in the ways of good people and keep to the paths of the righteous. So not every person. We think everybody that we meet is our friend, our brother. Soon as we met them for a week and now we best friends. We ain't tried them. We ain't courted them, some people will say. And we're wondering why we fail in these areas. Verse 21, for the upright will live in the land. And watch this. This is the part I was getting to. So we have what Solomon said, or King Solomon said, that everybody runs to when it comes to sinning. They'll go, even in the New Testament, they'll go to John, right? They go to all these places to try to prove and say, aha, we can't do this. Then you read Proverbs 2 and 21, he says, for the upright will live in the land and the blameless will remain in it. The perfect, the blameless, the perfect will remain in it. This was understood in the culture. But what happens when you strip the culture and you allow someone else to grab hold of their literature and they start teaching it and they rule the world? They have all these men of power and influence, the church fathers, and then they begin to teach the entire world these different ideologies that has nothing to do with the actual text that they have taken and utilized. Verse 22 says, but the wicked will be eliminated from the land and the treacherous will be torn away from it. I know people don't want to read stuff like that. We just want love, love, love. But we got to be real and realistic. In the world we live in today in 2026, there is not just love, love, love. People are getting hurt, mistreated, slandered, underlied, right? Manipulated. All these things is happening to them today. And guess what? All these things was happening to them back then as well. That's why these things were written. All right, we're going to do one more chapter. And this is one of the chapters, well, we'll see how much time we got left. I like this one because this is what every Christian I know, even people in my community, and those that's outside of both communities, we run to this particular chapter. And we've been reading the context so far. Chapter 1, chapter 2, we see that he said, hey, don't walk amongst the sinners. Don't consent with them. Don't learn from them. Don't walk in their ways. Chapter 2, it tells you to stay on the path of righteousness, right? Be blameless. All these different things is telling you, right? Keep my commandments within you. Grasp understanding. And the commandments that he's saying to keep him within him to his son is the commandments that was taught to him, which is the commandments of the Supreme King, right? The Most High said, well, he said in chapter 2 that this is the words of the Supreme King. That's what he's saying. So why is it that today's society, when it comes to the Bible and or Christianity, they teach opposite from this? Why? You want to know why? Because it's soundbite doctrine. It's agendas. It's things in place to kind of to prevent you from being who you are, who you can be, who the Supreme King Yah says you can be. Don't want you to progress in this walk or this path. Want you to rely only on them. Want you to believe that it's only one person that can get you somewhere, right? I suggest you read Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 27 and 8, or 26 through 8. And then you'll see the patterns of how the Supreme King Yah operates when he's sending people over and over and over again. We're not going to get into that today. Let's keep going. He says, my son, do not forget my teaching. So this is how context works. This is how context works. We already read chapter 1, chapter 2. Chapter 1, we read it last week, Monday. I think. Chapter 1, Monday or Wednesday, was the first beginning of the writings of wisdoms that we go through. That was the first part of the context. Chapter 2, we read Friday, and today we read chapter 2 again, just so we could, spend a little more time on it. Now, chapter 3, this is the chapter that everyone quotes, but they forget everything that has been said. But he says, my son, do not forget my teaching, but have your heart comply with my commandments. So he's talking to his son, and most righteous men and or women of the scriptures always push you back to the commandments of Yah. Every last one of them. If they didn't, they were not of the Supreme King Yah. If any one person did not do that, they was not of the Supreme King Yah. And I stand on it. And every righteous man or woman would agree with me. I don't say that arrogantly at all. If you just read through the scriptures contextually, he says, my son, do not forget my teaching, but have your heart comply with my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace, they will add to you. What is that coming from? Is that within the 10 commandments too? Honor your father, your mother, right? For length of days, right? So he's going off of what's already there. He's teaching his son what's already there. Nothing new. Verse 3, watch this. Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Bind them around your neck and write them on the tablet of your heart. He's not saying nothing different. Moshe or Moses in Deuteronomy 10:16 said to circumcise your heart. He's saying write them on the tablet of your heart so it can be there. Circumcise your heart. Yes, these commandments is what you're supposed to do. These laws is what you're supposed to do. But if you circumcise your heart, you're going to understand them better. Do not let kindness and truth leave you. Be kind to the Supreme King's people. We look at the text and we say, aha, these leaders, these elders, not all of them, by the way, were doing the people wrong. Well, guess what? Today in 2026, these leaders, these elders, these teachers, the congregants, everybody is treating everyone wrong. Even if you're a Christian or a pastor, even if you're in my community or not, everyone, majority, not everyone, is doing this wrong. And we hide behind things. I'm not going to get into that. And we never circumcise our heart. We're not keeping it on our neck. We're not keeping it on our body. That's what it's basically telling you to do. But let's get to the famous scriptures. And I hope those that's been tuning in, watched it back later, watching it now, has been following along with the actual context. It says, so you will find favor and good reputation in the sight of Elohim and man. Wait a minute. Is Solomon saying something different? He says, so you will find favor and a good reputation in the sight of Elohim, the Most High, and man. I don't care what man think. This is what people say today. I only care what God thinks. Well, that's not our culture. That is not the scripture. That is not what the Supreme King says, and that is not what any righteous man or woman says. How can I prove it? In the scripture, it literally says when it talks about Samuel, he didn't even know the Most High yet. Wasn't spoken to by the Most High yet, but he was learning under Eli. And he was gaining reputation and favor from the people and from the Supreme King Yah. But then you go all the way over here to Solomon or Shlomo, he says the same thing. Verse 4, Proverbs 3, so you will find favor and a good reputation in the sight of Elohim and in the sight of man. But today we don't care what nobody thinks. I'm good. Why? Because we don't really believe in the Most High. Not like that. We have a certain understanding, but our understanding is limited and it's immature. We can get to maturity, though, if we truly want to. If we truly understand the importance of elders and leaders and teachers, I'm not talking about the bad ones, the wicked ones, those that treat the people wrong and manipulate them and do things that they shouldn't be doing. That should not remove our understanding of thus says the Supreme King Yah, because it didn't with Solomon or Shlomo right here. It didn't. But let's keep going, because we're about to get into one of the most famous scriptures as used in most religious sects. Verse 5. Trust in Yah with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. So we use this. So many people quote this. Elders quote this when they're teaching or speaking to someone else. Teachers quote this. But we forget the whole those that's not even in church quote this, but don't know the entire context that's being said. First chapter, second chapter, and the beginning of the third chapter, it was leading him to all of this. And now saying, now I want you to trust in the Supreme King Yah with all your heart. And don't lean on your own understanding. Lean on the understanding that I gave you. And what I gave you came from the understanding of what was given to me. And what was given to me from those before me came from what was said by the Supreme King Yah. It's not just something new. It's not just that. It has to have a foundation. How can I prove that? Go back to something that's normal that we know of. The NBA or the jobs you work at. They have the laws. They have the playbook, right? This playbook is designed to put you in a position to where if any of these things happen, you can trust in this playbook that was written and given to you, and it's going to show you how to react when anything comes in your way. Don't lean on your own understanding unless your understanding is aligned with what came before you. And you're just adding to it by utilizing the principles. Verse 6, in all your ways, so we forget about this. We quote it. But watch this. In all your ways, acknowledge him. Are we acknowledging him in all our ways? Or are we just acknowledging him when we speak? When we praise him, when we sing, when we teach? It says all your ways. So that means how you walk, all your paths, right? If I click this right here and I go to the Hebrew, and this word is derek, right? Derekecha. That's your ways. That means your paths too. So the way that you walk, not just the way that you talk, not just the way that you sing. It says acknowledge him, because if you acknowledge him just by talking, but you're not acknowledging by how you walking, then you're not acknowledging him at all. So in all your paths, all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Do you think your paths is going to be made straight if you're not acknowledging him in obedience? Today we do. We all got to get better with that. But this particular verse right here, verse 5 and 6, is being removed from the actual understanding that was given. Stop quoting this if you are not walking in the ways that he has given us. If you are not walking in the ways of all the righteous men and women of old that we read about, if you're not doing it, we should humble ourselves. We should slow down a little bit, and we should understand that these ways is dealing with behavior. All of this is dealing with behavior. It says, do not be wise in your own eyes, fear the Supreme King Yah, and turn away from evil. So what's evil? Many of us don't believe we're evil or we're doing evil things. We believe, well, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. Then we'll quote passages that say no one is good. But then we just read that it said be around good people in chapter 2. Who's right? What does it mean? What is it trying to say? I will be healing to your body. So now, or it will be healing to your body and refreshment to your bones, right? Honor the Supreme King from your wealth and from the first of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your hats will overflow with new wine. My son, do not reject the discipline of the Supreme King Yah or loathe his rebuke. Many of us are rejecting the discipline. And sometimes it's not even because of our own fault. It's because who we're listening to. It's because what customs we're applying to ourselves. What traditions. There's nothing wrong with traditions. Don't let nobody tell you that. But if you're putting these traditions over what thus says the Supreme King, the Most High, then that's when it's a problem. And then if these traditions is going against what has been said, that is a problem. And that will mean if you're doing that, that you have rejected the discipline of the Supreme King Yah. And you do not like his rebuke. We should love to be rebuked. Hopefully it's without harm, hurt, and danger. But we should love it because it will open our eyes if we sit still for a moment and kind of try to figure it out. What's going on? What can I be doing better? How can I be serving this Supreme King better? How can I be serving the Supreme King's people? Because again, like Shlomo said, which he took that knowledge and that wisdom from his father before him, and also all the way back to Samuel, having a good reputation, not only with the Supreme King Yah, but having a good reputation with the people matters. But today, we do not believe that we don't need the people. It doesn't matter what the people think about us. There's some truth and validity to that, but not all across the board. Verse 12, Proverbs 3 says, for whom the Supreme King loves, he disciplines, just as a father disciplines the son in whom he delights. But I'll add this. Sometimes the person that the Most High doesn't love, he loves everyone. Okay. What he does want is he don't want everyone to perish. If you want to look at that as being loving everyone, fine. But some will perish. What do you call that? Some of us will, but we don't have to. We can change it. We can shift it. We could change our behavior. We could find out what it is that the Supreme King Yah expects of us. Just like your job has an expectation of you, you find out what you need to do to make it happen and you do it. Why not do it here? Blessed is a person who finds wisdom and one who obtains understanding, right? You may find wisdom, but you don't grasp the understanding because you're not walking in it. You're not seeking after it. You're not sitting in it with someone to learn from them about it. How can you grasp or understand or obtain understanding, I should say? For her profit is better than the profit of silver, and her produce better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire compares with her. Long life is in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and honor. See, we look at these things and we think that we're not understanding that wisdom is not, or these riches is not just speaking of finances. And sometimes it's not even speaking at all about finances. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace, right? Even in the midst of chaos, having wisdom on the matter, having wisdom on what's happening at the moment can be peaceful for you. I'm at peace. How many people ever heard someone say that? How many of you ever heard the elder, I'm at peace? I'm at peace with this. They fall back. They don't jump right out, attack mode or anything like that. I'm at peace. I'm okay with whatever's going on. And then that's wisdom right there. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her, and happy are those who hold on to her. The Supreme King founded the earth by wisdom. He established the heavens by understanding. By his knowledge, the ocean depths were burst open and the clouds dripped with dew. My son, see that they do not escape from your sight. Comply with the sound wisdom and discretion, and they will be life to your soul and adornment to your neck. Then you will walk in your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. So, wait a minute. He's telling him to get wisdom, get understanding within wisdom. He told him in chapter 1, do not be amongst sinners. But we all say, not we all, but it's taught to us that we're all sinners. He says, don't be amongst them, right? Don't fall into anything that they're saying. He's saying if you stay on the path, then you will be considered, or he says that blameless individuals are the ones that's going to secure it, right? You all say secure the bag. Blameless individuals are those that are going to secure it. Then he says, on your foot, Proverbs 3:23, and your foot will not stumble. Wait a minute. If you stay on all these things, if you focus on all these things, your foot will not stumble. Is that just is that just talking about finances? Or is it talking about falling into works of evil, disobedience, falling into the trap? Your foot won't stumble in that category when it comes to behavior. It will not stumble if you focus on those things. It will not stumble. I wish this was taught to me when I was younger. It's our job today to teach those today that may not be aware of this, to teach our children, to teach the youth, the young adults, those even in their 20s, mid-30s. Shoot, sometimes the elders. Very important, you all. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, you sleep. Your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden danger, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. Right? So it's going to come. That's the part I really wanted to talk about too. We believe, especially those of us in this walk, on the communities that I'm a part of, soon as we see some wicked stuff happen, right? We be troubled. See, I can't do this. That's why I move along. He telling him, do not be afraid of sudden danger, nor of trouble from the wicked when it comes. It's going to come. Whatever path you're on, especially if you're on my path, our assembly's path, it's going to come. But what did it say a couple verses above? It says, then you will walk in your way securely and your foot will not stumble. You will not stumble when it comes. You're already aware of it. You already know it's going to happen. You already expect that the people that majority of people are not in alignment with this. You know this already. But the thing is, many of us don't know this. We think that everything is supposed to be great, and it can be great. We miss covenants, right? We don't understand covenants. We speak on that often in our assembly. And even with those covenants, things may still happen. But if you choose the right individuals, right, this wickedness that comes, the wicked that comes from the wicked, when it comes, it says, we can be prepared. It says, for the supreme king will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Right? We look at that and we say, see, the Most High has me. He's going to be the only one to make sure my feet is not caught. Where can we fully see that? An individual is by themselves completely without any type of help. And if we can't really see that, if we see people around these righteous individuals, men and or women, then we can understand when it says, and will keep your foot from being caught, because things is going to be presented to you, be around you, that'll help you, protect you, build you up. Be a hedge around you. That hedge is things that's around you. People, the Malachim of the Supreme King. 27 says, do not withhold gold from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to do it, right? So be fair, stay balanced. When people need and you're able to help, do it. But see, there's a what's the word I'm looking, a caveat to that, right? These individuals, as we're about to read in 28, because this 28 is still attached to 27, do not withhold gold from those to whom it is due, right? These individuals who is due got to be people that you're around, people that you know. It says, do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it to you when you have it with you. So now this is talking about your neighbor who you're in covenant with, right? Do not devise harm against your neighbor while he lives securely beside you. Do not contend with the person for no reason if he has done you no harm. Right? We see this daily. We see this on social media. We see this in so many of our lives. Do not envy a violent person. Why? Because that's them. You don't want to be violent. Only when you have to be. But a violent person is that all the time in speech and how they operate. Wanting to cause trouble, slander, all these different things. That's all within the Torah. And we're told not to do. And do not choose any of his ways. So do not walk in any of his paths. No way that he operate. Even if he's someone that's a violent person, but he always talking about, all praise the Most High. Don't choose to operate like that because he's a hypocrite. He or she. They're not true to me. Don't choose any of those ways. For the devious are an abomination to the Supreme King Yah, but he is intimate with the upright. Wait a minute. What does devious mean? Are some of us operating, being devious to the Supreme King? Right? Are we? We don't have to. We could shake that off. We could remove it. Because it's saying it's an abomination. They are an abomination, for the devious are an abomination to the Supreme King Yah. That's what it says. We're not going to believe it. We're not going to believe it when it applies to us. We're not going to believe it when it applies to certain religious sects. We're not going to believe it because what's being taught to us, right? What we're wanting to hear. Wanted to hear smooth things. We're not going to believe things like this. See, that's that old stuff. That's that Old Testament stuff. That saying would mean that Solomon shouldn't even be saying some of these things that we're reading, because he's saying it a long ways after it was shown in action. These things are everlasting. These behaviors that we're supposed to shift and change is everlasting. These expectations of the Supreme King when it comes to behavior, blamelessness, and perfection. I normally don't say perfection. I'm just going to say perfect, because perfection scares people. Being blameless scares people. We should be striving for it to the point that we become it. Verse 32, Proverbs 3, it says, for the devious are an abomination to the Supreme King, but he is intimate with the upright. It said that Noah was upright and perfect, right? The curse of the Supreme King is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. So wait a minute. Do you mean to tell me that every Christian that believes only in thought, not in how they walk, and can walk wickedly, or even those in my community, or anybody that goes off the Bible, can walk in wickedness, can be a part of the house of wickedness? But see, the problem is they don't know what wicked is. We don't know what's wicked according to the scriptures. So we won't label ourselves wicked. How can you label yourselves wicked? How can you know that you are wicked if you don't understand what's wicked according to the scriptures or to the Supreme King? Verse 33, let's read it again. The curse of Yah, or the Most High, the Supreme King, is on the house of the wicked. So those that dwell in it, you're saved, those that live in it. This is your daily life. This is how you move. Well, I'm a good person. Okay, I get it. But how are you consistently with the Supreme King Yah and with the people? How are you? How are we? Though he scoffs at the scoffers, yet he gives grace to the needy. Right? Who are these needy? Who are the needy though? Does it just mean he gives grace to those that just needs something? We have to really pay attention to what we're reading. It says, yet he gives grace to the needy. You have a lot of people that pray and ask the Supreme King for things, but then the scripture also says that he does not hear the prayers of those that are unrighteous. So how do you make that make sense? This grace that he's giving to the needy, these individuals have to be individuals that has a heart for the Supreme King, that are walking the path with the knowledge that they have, or with the current, with the right knowledge, right? Because all information is not good information. All knowledge is not good knowledge, but all knowledge is knowledge. 35 says, the wise will inherit honor, but fools increase dishonor. So we're going to close out. That's the end of chapter 3. We will resume this on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to come on. I'll give you about an hour. You all, so we look forward to seeing you all then. If you all are interested in continuing to be up to date on all things pertaining to House of Balance Assembly, the things that we put out, the locations that we go to, teach at, any things that we have coming out. Like we just released my Isha, her new book, Journey of the Proverbs Woman, Part 1. It's on Amazon right now. So if you want to support it, you can, or if you want to go directly through us as authors, which we always encourage, let us know, send a message on this chat, or you can email us at houseofbalance12@gmail.com. Hold on one second. All right. You can email us at houseofbalance12@gmail.com if you're interested in purchasing the books right from us. If you already are in connection with us on any of the social media platforms, you could contact us as well. I also released the book entitled No One is Perfect, The Lies That Christianity Gave Us. I plan to play a clip once I close out, let you all hear it before I close out completely. What else? Go on Facebook, you all. Facebook.com/find the page House of Balance Assembly. That will show you any and everything that we have going on as an assembly. You also can join our group, our Facebook group, House of Balance Book Club. House of Balance Book Club, where we utilize books and literature, kind of in the fashion that we're doing right now, discuss it, what can benefit us today. Of course, the books that we release, books that other authors that we trust on their path that they believe that they released, and just discuss things that's just beneficial for our community. And I think that's it. If you are on TikTok, make sure you come on over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, House of Balance Network. And then share it. Let people know about it. The things that we're teaching, what we're bringing out. All right. I'm going to play this one time and then we're going to close out. If nobody is perfect, then why are children taught to strive for excellence? Why do we expect honesty from our friends, faithfulness from our spouses, integrity from our leaders? Why do we desire people to keep their word? And if nobody can be perfect, why do we get upset when they aren't? Here's another question. What if the problem isn't scripture? What if the problem is the definition we've been given? What if one of the most repeated phrases in modern Christianity has become one of the greatest obstacles to accountability, growth, and transformation? What if we accepted something that sounds spiritual, but was never intended to be understood the way we've been taught? Maybe the real question isn't, is anyone perfect? Maybe the real question is, what does perfect actually mean?